I never thought I'd be the kind of man who would sit here, telling the world about how my marriage collapsed. When I married my wife, I believed in forever. I believed in the vows we made, the intimacy we shared, and the way she used to look at me like I was her entire world. Back then, she would reach for my hand without hesitation. She'd kiss me in the middle of the day for no reason. We were partners, best friends, lovers. And I never imagined that one day, I'd look into her eyes and hear words that would tear my heart apart. I didn't know it then, but the woman I gave everything to would one day tell me that she would never, ever be intimate with me again. And when she said it, it was like the ground beneath me opened up. It didn't happen all at once. That's what made it so confusing. It was little things, subtle shifts, like shadows creeping in. At first, it was the excuses. She was tired. She wasn't in the mood. She had work in the morning. I told myself it was normal. Every couple has dry spells. But the excuses didn't stop. They piled up. Weeks turned into months, and the woman who once couldn't get enough of me acted like my touch was a burden. I tried. God knows I tried. I bought her flowers one night, the kind she used to love. She looked at them, barely smiled, and left them on the kitchen counter until they withered. I suggested date nights, but she always had something more important to do. I thought maybe I wasn't doing enough. Maybe I wasn't making her feel loved, so I poured myself into the marriage. I complimented her, supported her career, did everything I could to keep the fire alive. But every effort was met with coldness, like I was invisible in my own home. And then came the night that broke me completely. We were in our bedroom. I reached for her hand, gently, just wanting closeness, just wanting to feel like her husband again. She pulled away. I asked softly, "Not tonight?" She didn't even look at me. She just shook her head. Something inside me snapped. I asked her, "Then when? When will we ever be close again?" Her eyes finally met mine, and they were cold, so cold they didn't even look like the woman I once knew. She said, "Never. Never with you again." I can't explain the silence that followed. It wasn't just the absence of sound, it was the sound of something dying. My heart. My hope. My marriage. Her words echoed in my head, over and over. Never with you again. In that moment, something inside me shattered, but also something woke up. I spent that night lying awake, staring at the ceiling. I felt like less than a man. I felt like a stranger in my own bed, in my own life. The questions haunted me. What did I do wrong? Was I not enough? Was I so unlovable that my own wife, the woman I swore to protect and cherish, could look me in the eye and say she never wanted me again? There were moments I broke down in the dark. Tears I never thought I'd cry. I had built my life around her, and she had tossed it aside with a single sentence. But little did I know, the truth behind her words was even darker. As the days went by, I noticed things I had ignored before. The late nights at work that didn't add up. The way she clutched her phone like it was a lifeline, tilting the screen away from me. The sudden bursts of laughter at messages she never shared with me. At first, I wanted to believe I was paranoid. But deep down I knew. Her never with you again wasn't just rejection, it was confession. She wasn't saving her intimacy for herself. She was saving it for someone else. And that realization cut deeper than any words ever could. That night, I stopped begging. I stopped chasing. I stopped humiliating myself by trying to hold together a marriage she had already abandoned. I confronted her calmly. I told her I knew, that I wasn't blind anymore. She didn't even deny it. She just shrugged, as if the years we shared, the life we built, meant nothing. And in that moment, I found something I thought I had lost, my self-respect. I told her I wouldn't fight for her love anymore. I wouldn't compete with another man for the right to be loved in my own home. I told her she could have her freedom, because I deserved mine too. The look on her face changed then. For the first time in months, I saw fear in her eyes. Not fear of me, but fear of losing the control she had over me. I packed my things and I walked out. It wasn't easy. My hands shook, my chest ached, but every step I took away from that house was a step toward freedom, toward dignity, toward the man I used to be. And you know what? The world didn't end. I didn't fall apart. In fact, for the first time in years I felt alive. Because that night, She thought she broke me. But in truth she freed me. If you've ever been made to feel like you're not enough, if you've ever been rejected by the one person who was supposed to stand by you, hear me clearly. You are enough. You always were. Sometimes the person who says never with you again is really saying, I don't deserve you anymore. And that's the moment I realized, I was never the burden. She was.